It came off the floor, or nearly a half-inch, I should say.
Sisters believe they're haunted by a poltergeist.
I was going to ask.
A mother, 4 children, and a house that seemed to come alive with something sinister. This is not a movie. This is the terrifying true story of the Enfield Poltergeist, the haunting that inspired the Conjuring 2. In the summer of 1977, in a quiet council house in Enfield, North London, the Hodgson family settled in for the night. Peggy Hodgson, a single mother, was exhausted. Raising 4 children on her own, Margaret was 13 years old, Janet, 11, Johnny, 10, and Billy, 7, was difficult enough. But tonight, something felt different. It began with knocking, loud, rhythmic, echoing through the walls. At first, Peggy thought it was the neighbors, but the sound followed them from bedroom to bedroom. Then came the furniture. A heavy chest of drawers scraped across the floor, moving by itself, sliding to block the bedroom door. Janet screamed, "Mom, it's not us! It's moving on its own!" Peggy, terrified, tried to push the drawers back, but she couldn't. Something stronger was pushing against her from the other side. Over the following nights, the activity grew worse. Beds shook violently, as if invisible hands were lifting them. Toys flew through the air with unnatural force. Even the family dog whimpered and refused to enter certain rooms. Neighbors were called in to help. One woman recalled watching as Janet rose into the air, her body rigid, before being thrown across the room. The police were even called. One officer swore in her official report that she saw a chair move across the living room floor with no one touching it. The family wasn't just being haunted, they were being attacked. As weeks passed, it became clear that 11-year-old Janet was the center of the haunting. She began having violent fits. At night, her body twisted in unnatural ways. Witnesses claimed to see her levitate once, even spinning in midair, before crashing down on her bed. But the most terrifying of all was the voice.
600 the voices.
I know the joke.
How many really are there, Margaret?
I think so far we've had 10
Three.
sensible voices.
Janet began speaking in a deep, gravelly tone that no child could produce. The voice introduced itself as, "My name is Bill. I died in this house. I used to live here, and I'm still here." The voice would continue for months, mocking the family, growling threats, even carrying on full conversations with investigators. The case drew enormous attention. The British press covered it daily. Reporters flooded the house, hoping to witness the poltergeist for themselves. Investigators from the Society for Psychical Research spent months in the home, documenting knocks, voices, and moving objects. They recorded Janet speaking in the deep male voice, sometimes for hours at a time, without straining her vocal cords. And in 1978, famed demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren arrived. Lorraine, after only minutes in the home, declared, "This is not human. This is inhuman, and it is dangerous."
Am I talking to the spirit that's oppressing this family?
Is that what I am?
It came off the floor, or nearly a half-inch, I should say, and I saw it slide off to the right, about 3.5 to 4 feet before it came to rest. I checked to see whether or not it could possibly have slid along the floor. I placed a marble on the floor to see whether or not the marble would go in the same direction as the chair did, and it didn't roll at all. I checked for wires under the cushion of the chair, and I could find no explanation.
You'll hear here the whistling first of all, and then the barking.
And here is this noise.
The barking here is quite extraordinary, actually.
We got a doggy here.
I then said to it, you can whistle.
I then, as I said on the tape here, I then said to it, if you can whistle and bark and groan, then you can talk. And I asked it to actually say my name.
Well, just a minute. Right, we'll try again. I want you to call out my name. My complete name. Morris Gross. See if you can do that.
Because a lot of people, hearing these voices produced by the children, will simply say that they are very good ventriloquists and that this is all a hoax. How would you react to that?
Certainly not. They're certainly not very good ventriloquists. We have had tests on them to see whether they can ventriloquize. They can't. To keep up this particular type of voice for any length of time without damage to the vocal cords is absolutely impossible. I mean, there must be some hoarseness attached to it, but don't forget these children don't do this for a couple of minutes or so. They do it for lengths of periods up to 3 hours, and without any hoarseness or sore throats whatsoever. Well, perhaps Guy, perhaps you've got something to say to them.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how you make this noise without bashing Janet's vocal cords to pieces. If I do it for half a minute, I get a sore throat.
Of course, not everyone believed. Skeptics argued the children faked the events for attention. Photographs of Janet levitating showed her mid-jump arms flailing, but even skeptics admitted something was strange. The voice recordings were real. The police testimony was real, and dozens of neighbors swore they saw things with their own eyes. Years later, Janet admitted, yes, sometimes we faked a few things. Maybe 2% of it, but the rest, no one could explain. It was real. For nearly 18 months, the Hodgson family endured the haunting. Slowly, the activity began to fade. But the scars never left. In later interviews, Janet confessed, "It stayed with me, even when I moved away. I still felt it. It never truly left me." Today, the Enfield Poltergeist remains one of the most documented paranormal cases in history. With more than 30 eyewitnesses, hundreds of hours of recordings, and phenomena that science still struggles to explain. If you enjoyed this story and want to uncover more chilling mysteries, make sure to subscribe to Jasper Investigates. New, true horror and paranormal cases every week. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, evil doesn't always stay in the dark.